Greetings again. Back with another records unboxing already. Now, this is a big one. And for those of you playing at home, this is a first time purchase from imusic Denmark. This one is a team sort of partner purchase with a friend of mine, going sort of, well, not halves exactly, but, bundling up to get down the costs of postage and to share that across the benefits of getting a bulk purchase here. So some of these are mine and some of these are not. But it's still interesting to see what you can get for a really good price from imusic, because they have some really great prices. And to be honest, I was skeptical at first about their offerings. Or, sometimes it seemed too good to be true. And then with the postage. But look, it's come through. Some of the items they had on sort of like almost a back order. They had to order them in from a outside source. So there was a little bit more weight put on for that. However, once they got all the items in and said they had them all, it only took really a week to send from Denmark to Australia via UPS, as you probably can see on the label there. And it was very reasonable, especially once we bundled up this beauty. This is the first time I've ever got a record parcel with these sort of straps on for extra security and sturdiness or whatever, I don't know, or ease of transport. So without further ado, let's crack on in and see what we got. So I suppose snip these. Go under. Right, that was easy enough. Right, let's swap to the knife, which is not as easy with this. Ooh, that wasn't too hard, that one. Go down. Be careful. And let's flip it around. Right. A little bit over here. Well, that wasn't too bad at all. Sorry for the wobbly camera, but only so many hands. All right. Well, let's see. That was pretty well packed, that side of things. Okay, some tape on the top. Let's see this one. All right, so what have we got inside? Oh, so you can see they're just using recycled paper. A bit of bubble wrap under there. That's okay. All right. So they've strapped a receipt, and they've put some. You can see down there's some more paper reinforcement there on the sides, so it's not wobbling around. That's good. Keep it sturdy. Great to see the care there. Now I'll just have to get rid of this receipt snipping, I think. Yep, easy as. Here we go. Alrighty, now here's the fun. So you can see that's totally wrapped, which is nice. So what we have is this lovely bundle here. I've just taken out of the box to make it easier. So it's just going to be a matter of snipping all this out without wrecking any on. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be a bit tricky. Coming through. So I may just have to pause this and do it two-handed style just for safety concern. I don't want to damage of the LPs and so, but at least you can see the way it's been presented. Okay, so what I've uncovered under the mountain of bubble wrap is some more bubble wrap, some individual like smaller parcels here. I think there's 5. The top one here is, I think, the only one that has a separate cardboard sort of box for itself. The others do not. So the easiest way to probably go about this is do one at a time. Okay, so strap yourself in. So I've chosen to go the mystery box first. It's on top anyway, but curiosity as to why it's in its own separate box. So here's the box. I've just turned it upside down because there's actually spoilers on the other side with the sticker that actually tells you what's in this particular one. So just to suspend that, a little bit of mystery there. Whoa, I've just flipped it over. Now proceed with just carefully slicing this open. All right, and first up then, out of that box came this Kraken package. This one's actually not for me. That's okay. I'm aware though it was a great price, and it's a pretty hefty package here. It's the Roots Things Fall Apart. It's a 3 LP, I believe. That's why it's in the separate box, and it seems too that's in a nice separate little box package itself there. And I know this was really well priced, and yeah, you had to pay probably 3 lots of LP posts because it's 3 LP, but even with that, I can't remember the exact price, but it came out very good, and that's a lovely package there. It's so nice. It's showing me in the reflection before. Yeah, how's that? So no wonder that one had its own special little box. Lovely. Now, because these separate packages are, quite transparent, I've chosen that this time around I'm not going to show unwrapping each one. I'll just go for the first one a little bit and go from there. Now, there was a bit of spoiler for the first one that could be seen through the plastic, but not too much revealed. So this one is actually one I ordered, and it was actually just released apparently this month, and this one delayed a little bit the overall parcel because they had to wait for it to be released to come in around about the 19th of October, I think, something like that. And it's Lonnie Smith's Finger Licking Good Salt Organ, How good is that? It's actually a music on vinyl. They're usually pretty good. So, yeah, this is a cracker. I'm loving getting my Lonnie Smith LPs lately. Really starting to catch up and bolster up my collection. And this one is early 70s, I think. It might be 70, 71. I might be wrong there, but I think it's going to give us a bit of a showing there. It goes and... oh, wow. Okay. No, that's saying 67. Even earlier. That's all right by me. Oh, yeah. Love me some Lonnie Smith. That's a cracker. Okay, next up in this little bundle, another one that I ordered, and this one was a bargain. It was probably the cheapest one I got in the whole lot. Oh no, it wasn't the cheapest, but you know, it was definitely on the low end of cost. I think it was probably about all up, if I include post, maybe about $25. And this is Jackie McLean's Let Freedom Ring. Now, this I think's a EU edition. I don't believe that's the official original cover. It's very similar. They kind of mimicked it, but I don't care because I got it very inexpensive. It's on Hermitage, which I believe is a Italian reissue label. I believe I might be wrong there, but it is one of these sort of new EU reissue labels that put out stuff that's out of copyright, and this one's from 1962. Still, they usually sound really, really good. I've got a Hermitage record before, and it sounds fine. And usually the vinyl's actually quite nice and thick inside. I won't open it up because it's in plastic, but look, I know it's not the original artwork, but it is close. So I can, I can compromise by saving probably another $20, to get it this reissue. Next is a LP I've been after for a while. I've really been after the original for a while, but it's gotten a bit expensive in the last couple of years, like lots of things. So I got a reissue, and again, the reissue is usually quite expensive, but I got a good price from this iMusic place that I couldn't resist, and that is Idris Muhammad and House of the Rising Sun on Kudu. Bit of a later one. Look, I prefer his earlier LPs, to be honest, like Parasol and was it Black Rhythm Revolution? But still, he's a great drummer, and yeah, this one not his finest hour. It's 1975, so it's just on that cusp of the post 75 rule, but there's still some good value in this one, and it's great to finally have that one in the collection, brand new. Again though, music on vinyl, so hopefully they're keeping up the good work with their reissues lately. So hopefully it's some really good quality. So it wasn't, it wasn't overly expensive, but it wasn't cheap. It was $35 to $40 Australian, I think, somewhere around there. Once all was bundled up, can't exactly remember. But again, that's quite reasonable these days. Continuing with the same little package here. This one I do have on CD. It's one of those albums that, again, I've been after for a couple of years, but just waiting to get the right price. It's not something I, 100% need. It's just been one of those ones on my radar to get on vinyl because I do like it. It's a good record. Well, I think it's a good record. It's a little bit different to the normal stuff I show and get. But this is Who's Next? Classic rock LP. But again, the price was right finally. This LP usually still goes for a little bit, even though there's heaps of different reissues of this over the years. This again is a music on vinyl, so hopefully it stands up again. And the price was not extravagant in terms of today's prices. Again, I'd say this one was about 35 Australian with postage included. It's brand new. So, I'm hoping now I've got a new copy, not some beaten up old copy that's overpriced, that will serve me well, because I do like the album. And last one in this particular little package is another album I do have on CD. I bought it years ago from it was something like Big W store for cheap as, and it looked like a knockoff sort of bootleg then. I've come to realize it's not. It was just a one I think this band released as an independent release after moving from a bigger label, and this was more of an independent almost release in the mid 80s, I believe. And a band that I saw last year live, which is Bad Manners, Eat the Beat. Now you can see what I mean. Like the cover just looks a bit, I don't know, cheap. I don't know, or something. But it does, add to the fact it looks like a sort of indie release, which it was. I just noticed though when I picked up, it felt gatefold, so I did not expect that. It'd be interesting to see what's inside. But I do know this album, and it's really great. It's got some great songs. The CD version does have some extra songs. That's okay. But this is a solid ska album. And it was after they released an album that was more commercial oriented and not as good. So this was a great return to form for Bad Manners in the mid 80s. I don't know if it's got the actual year, but I'm guessing it was around about 86. Don't hold me to that. That's saying 88 there. Yeah, so it's close. But yeah, finally got it on vinyl, and to add to my Bad Manners collection to bolster that up, because I do really like Bad Manners. They're a great band. It's always lots of fun listening to them. Oh, and it was actually very inexpensive. I believe the LP was about 20, 21 bucks. Yeah, it's a reissue, but these days, to add a bit of postage, it's probably about 25 bucks all up, something like that, which is cracking. Okay, to start off the next bundle is a reissue of a album from 1977. It's been on my list for many years. But I've just not thought it's that essential, and also the price was never right to pull the trigger on a really, not totally essential LP. Look, it's a sort of a 70s soul female singer kind of album. She's no Betty Davis by any means, but it's Anne Sexton, the beginning. Now, the price was right, though. So I believe the price is about $17.50 Australian, then plus a little bit of post. So it was about 21 bucks, 22 bucks, I think. So that's good value. It's just a little bit, there's a bit of that post 75 sheen to it. It's got a nice bit of sort of almost Muscle Shoalsy, southern grit to it at times, but then it gets a little bit too sweetened, I think, with the strings. But it's not bad. It's sort of a little bit in that Betty Wright kind of mold. Sort of a little bit Ann Peebles-ish. And she's got a fantastic afro. That's awesome. But yeah, price was right. And still nice having the collection after having it on a watch list for probably about 10 years. Yeah, and got a cracking price. Next up, an album I've been putting off for such a long time. Look, I know it's not this band's best album by any means, but it's an awesome band. And this came out in 1996. It's a 2 LP. The price was really competitive compared to what I've ever seen, so it was time to pull the trigger on A Tribe Called Quest's Beats, Rhyme and Life, with that fantastic illustrated cover. It's a non-gatefold, so like they often do these days, where it's just got the wide opening, well, it will be in there, and it's got the 2 LP. But there'll be still some good value. It's just when they got a bit more stripped down, when they had they formed that production team. What was it, the Yamaha? So I've got a couple of these tracks on a compilation CD. Can you go back into the focus? There we go. Yeah, but for me, from what I've heard, it's not their strongest and the reviews, but hey, it's still going to have some good value, and I'm really happy to finally get that in the collection. Really looking forward to having a listen to this one, even though it's, what, 28 years old, maybe something like that. It's taken me that bloody long, but sometimes good things happen when you wait. The next one's a little bit left of center. This is this band's 4th LP. Again, the price is really good. I've got their other 3. I think this is their 4th one. I'm pretty sure from 1970. And yeah, price is great. So I got it to get the sort of last official one of the Velvet Underground loaded. Yeah, I believe it's 1970 on Cotillion via Atlantic. So Cotillion is the subsidiary. I believe it's a Cotillion. Yeah, but there it is. Says it right there. And this is the one with different bass player, Doug Yule, I believe. Organ, piano, bass. Well, he plays a few things. Doesn't just play bass, but there you go. Still got the Sterling. Oh, go back into focus. Sterling Morrison, Lou Reed, of course, Mo Tucker still there on drums. Yeah, look, they're not my favourite band in the world. As I said, I do have their other 3 LPs, but they've just got some nice kooky oddity. I don't want to, stretch the term alternative, but hey, they are different, and I do like it. So that's great to finally get that one as well. Next up, this one again was a great price, despite the name of the LP. They can be a bit pricey, these ones, but this one was maybe about 30, a little bit under 30, and then a bit of postage. So I got another Fela Kuti and Africa 70 expensive shit. I just got it when it wasn't as expensive shit. Now, yeah, look, his stuff is always great. It's the only problem sometimes is it would be nice to have more than 2 tracks, one per side, because that's the sort of compromise, I suppose. They're always great long jams, but sometimes it would be nice to have a little bit of a difference. However, this is it was a good price. So I'm not going to shy away from a Fela Kuti when I can get it for a decent price. I usually always will. And last one in this particular little bundle is an LP that's actually not for me. I wish it was. I don't have this on vinyl. I only have it on CD. This one was also a cracking bargain price, and it is De La Soul is Dead, their 2nd album, which it says there is their masterpiece. It is awesome. It still is. It holds up. This is a 2 LP. Absolutely fantastic price. I wish I'd bought myself a copy. Alrighty, on to the next bundle. This next one is a really good album from, I think it's 1970. I believe it was originally released on Cadet Records. And it's my first for this artist I have on vinyl. I do have this actually on CD. I picked up like earlier this year in like a op shop where you would not expect it, because the CD would have been a special import at some stage when it was first purchased or released. And I couldn't believe I got it for like $2. Took it home here, played it. It was great. It is Dorothy Ashby. And what is it? The Rubaiyat of Dorothy Ashby. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Harp player. And this, though, is a Verve by Request reissue release, manufactured, as you can see there, by Third Man. If you guys, there we go, Third Man pressing in Detroit. So it'll be good quality. It'll be well mastered, I'm sure. And yeah, I'm really happy to have this, because again, the price was absolutely right. These usually go for a bit more. This was about, it was just under 30 Australian, I believe, plus a bit of post. So, you know, 33, $34 maybe all up, which is actually really good for these reissues by Third Man and Verve by Request. Yeah, there we go. It says Cadet record there. But yeah, this is sort of like, I'd say kind of spiritual jazz sort of thing, which I really dig. So, yeah, it's a really surprisingly good record by Dorothy Ashby. All right, next one up. This one I've been after for a long time. It's been on my hit list for years, but again, look, it's one of those ones that's been very highly priced, even the originals. You'll know why when I show you. But so I just put it off for years. But again, it was very competitively priced when I saw it. I've not seen it this cheap. And I thought it's time to pull the trigger on David Bowie's Hunky Dory from, I think, is it 1971 maybe? I think his fourth LP, but the one that I think really broke him, you know, his breakthrough album, as they say, I'm pretty sure, with lots of big tracks on. So for me, I think this completes my collection of his 1970s studio albums. I'm pretty sure now I've got all of the studio ones. I've got one of the live ones, a couple of the compilation. So, yeah, this one, awesome with Changes and Life on Mars, a couple other unknown tracks. But yeah, got a good price of this. So I pulled the trigger. So yeah, not many more David Bowies I need. But yeah, look, that's going to hold up. I'm not the biggest David Bowie fan, even though I've got a fair few over the years, but it's taken me years, you know. Used to buy them back in the day, you know, for like $10, $12, his LPs. Now, yeah, forget it. You're not going to get it from that. All right, next up, this one, again, I wouldn't say it's totally essential. It's been on my hit list. The original costs a lot for some strange reason. I don't think it's his best album, but again, the price was right as a reissue. And it's Idris Muhammad's Turn This Mother Out. I believe it's like 1977. Now, yeah, look, I think it gets a little bit sort of clubby, you know, post-75 clubby, a little bit twee in that way. A little bit too, you know, much of those sort of slick elements that get a bit disco-y sort of club. But I know there's some good value with Crab Apple. That's a great song. So, look, I've waited a long time to get this, either reissue or new, original. Yeah, so, but again, got it for a decent price, lowest I've ever seen. The only thing I did notice before, and I'm just noticing now, is I'm not seeing any mention of Kudu Records. They've got Sony Music Entertainment there. This was a Kudu. There should be really, I think, a Kudu label there. A logo, sorry. I'm pretty certain. The other one did. So, yeah, that's a bit odd. They've left that off. I'd rather it on because, yeah, big Kudu Records fan. But anyway, so finally can knock that one off, and the other one I showed, which is fantastic. Okay, next. Now this one is not one of mine. I know really nothing about this LP at all, which is a double LP, and that's, I think, by JJ Doom, Key to the Cuffs. Hey, I know nothing about it. I don't think that was a gatefold. I think it's a 2LP. It feels heavy. It looks like a thick spine, so it looks wide. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a 2LP and was a good price. But I can't tell you anything about it, to be honest. Sure, it's hip hop. However, the next one is one I ordered. But again, I can't tell you too much, which sounds weird. I got this one as a bit of an oddity. Again, a bit left of center here. This is actually a band I'd heard years ago on, I think it was like 4ZZZ. They used to play a track over and over that I'd hear either at work or coming home from work or whatever. And I really dug it. It reminded me kind of like the Slits. But probably not the sort of thing I usually go for. So I thought I'd give it a gamble because it's been quite expensive as a reissue for years. They only release, I'm pretty sure, one album, maybe an EP and then one album. And I think this is about 20 years old, maybe. I can't even tell you the year. I'm going to guess it's about 20 years old. And this is a band called Life Without Buildings, and the album's Any Other City. I think they're Scottish. And by all accounts, I think this is like a fairly influential record from that time. So it's a newer record in terms of, it's not a 70s funk record or anything, or, late 60s Velvet Underground. But I thought I'd give it a crack because I do remember that song, which I can't even remember what the song was called. But they used to play it a lot, to be honest. And I'd always thought, one day I'll get to checking that out. So now's the time, because again, the price was right. It was about 30 bucks plus post. And I've never seen it that cheap or inexpensive or whatever. So look, that one's a bit of a gamble in a way. I'm sure I'll be pleasantly surprised. It's nice to sort of mix things up a bit. Life Without Buildings. Alrighty, so finally up to the last bundle in this massive box. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm trying to get through them as quick as I can. All right, the next one is not for me. I know very little, very, very little about. All I know is I think, again, it was a good price for my mate. And that is Fiona Apple. What does it say? When the Pawn. I thought it said When the Dawn, sorry. There's me being absolutely oblivious. Full red. Was that an apple red cover? I don't know. There's this full sort of deep red on that side and just black on this. Doesn't give you a lot to go on, does it? And I have even no idea what year this could be. So it was or is, there you go, 1999. There you go. So not that recent. Okay, I can't tell you anything about that. I hope it's great. I'm sure it is. Next one is one I did order. This was fairly inexpensive again. The price on this fluctuated in the time I was trying to, we were trying to bundle things up. So I ended up paying a couple of bucks extra than it was when I originally looked at it, but they can't complain. And it's a little bit of an oddity one because this one's from 1971 and it's early Fela Kuti and it's called Fela's London Scene. So this is a little bit earlier on in the formation of sort of your Afrobeat. And the songs are a little bit shorter, which is why I bought this one, as I was saying before, because you get actually a couple more songs, so you get a little bit more variety. Because the songs are shorter, so you get, a few more. But it's it's, you can hear the early formations of Afrobeat. It's not quite fully in that idiosyncratic Fela Kuti way at this stage, but there are elements of it. And you can see that it's recorded at Abbey Road, so that's what it's his London scene. I believe it was all in about 71 or something like that. Originally released 1971. There you go. I think that's at 71. Yep. Sorry, there's a little bit of, yeah. So it is a legit LP and reissue. But yeah, interesting document in the evolution of Fela and his band sound. So again, really looking forward to listening to that one. Alrighty, almost there. Next one up is one I did order again because the price was absolutely right. I've not heard this album. I'm pretty sure I haven't heard this album, or if I did, it would have been like 30 years ago or something like that. I don't know. It was originally released in 1993, so they're what's that? 31 years ago. And that is Das Effects Straight Up Suicide. This one I think is a color vinyl, if I remember when I got it ordered. Sorry, that's a bit hard to see there, but it's a music on vinyl reissue as well. But again, this is quite inexpensive. It was about, I think it was about 27 Australian dollars, maybe. So again, all up was about maybe about $31, 30, 31. I thought that's really good value to give it a go, going sort of raw without really knowing this LP. But their first LP is great, and I'm sure there's more slippery, wiggity style in here. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure that this is like a orange or something. That's a bit hard to read there because of the light. So let's see if we can get in. There we go. Limited edition too. Individually numbered. Oh, there we go. Silver coloured vinyl. Ooh. Includes insert. That's nice too. 180 grand. So yeah, look, for an individually numbered one, maybe it wasn't popular. That's the thing. Maybe they thought, oh yeah, we'll put a limited range out. Maybe it didn't sell and the price came down. So more power to me because I got a good price. But yeah, that should be some nice hip hop there. Golden age stuff. Just sort of coming out of that, I suppose. And lastly, this one is not for me. I do own this. I do own a copy of this. But I believe this one is a gatefold edition and my reissue is not. So I'm a little bit envious of that part. And the price of this was fantastic. It was about 26 Australian dollars, I think. And that is Sir Joe Quarterman and Free Soul. And their only LP, I'm pretty sure. Great album from 1973. With So Much Trouble in My Mind. But yeah, and Mr. Bongo reissue, so they're usually pretty good. From memory, I've got a few of those. The classic hand-drawn LP, which wasn't meant to be the LP cover, I believe. I think that was just a concept drawing by Sir Joe Quarterman. And trying to tell, I think, the designers I think that's how the story goes. The designers, he did a scribble in terms of what sort of photos he wanted of the band and where he wanted to place, and somehow it ended up being the album cover. I think there is another version of this with a different album cover. I might be wrong. Something in the back of my head tells me that. But anyway, so yeah, it's got the original artwork there and the funky photo of the band. But it's got some great funk funky soul tracks on here. And obviously kicking off with I've Got So Much Trouble on Mine, which is pretty much worth the price of the LP right about there. But lots of the other songs sort of in the similar funky soul vein. So it's a very consistent LP. Originally on GSF Records. I'm not sure who's put out the second one. The reissue. I can't really read it down there. But yeah, just to be really interested to see, because that's gatefold. Yep, definitely gatefold there. Be really interested to see what's inside of that. But it's not mine to open, so I'll see it down the track. So anyway, thus ends the great iMusic haul and experiment. My verdict is, damn, they did good. Yeah, we had to wait a little bit to get some of them ordered in. Didn't know if they'd come through, but they did. The posting only took a month. The prices are great to start with. The conversion rate was awesome. Yeah, the postage rate was fantastic on top too. So I'm going to say I, without a doubt, will buy from these guys again. Anyway, thanks for hanging in there. See you next time.